Today's April 16th, 2025. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life. This is Pro-Life Week. Well, this morning, this actually is not a pro-life story, but this morning, Attorney General Pam Bondi held a press conference and announced that the federal government has filed a civil lawsuit against the state of Maine, more in particular, I believe the Maine's Department of Education, because the state is refusing to comply with President Trump's executive order prohibiting biological boys or men from playing in girls' sports. And I'm really excited and pleased that the government the Trump administration is pursuing this. It's a violation of Title IX, which basically says girls have to have a level playing field as boys in sports, and girls play against girls and boys play against boys, and the two should not mix. So it's just an issue that needs to be resolved. Okay. But the main topic of today's program deals with a case I briefly mentioned about a week ago, a case before the Supreme Court. So I'm going to read here. Here again, forgive me, but this is important. Last week, it has to deal with Planned Parenthood. Last week, the United States Supreme Court heard arguments in Medina versus Planned Parenthood South Atlantic. It issues whether individual states can deny Medicaid funds to abortion industry organizations like Planned Parenthood. According to the Alliance Defending Freedom, whose lawyers are arguing the case, this started back in 2018 when South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster directed that no Medicaid money should go to groups that perform abortions. The governor reasoned, quote, "The payment of taxpayer funds to abortion clinics for any purpose results in the subsidy of abortion and the denial of the right to life," unquote. Using government cash for abortion not only offends the moral sensibilities of millions of Americans, but for 45 years now, the Hyde Amendment has prohibited covered funds to be expended for any abortion or to provide health benefits coverage that includes abortion. With his directive, Governor McMaster was eliminating an end run around the clear intent of this law. As one supporter put it, quote, "States should be free to use taxpayer dollars in accordance with their own state laws and priorities. No citizen should be forced to fund facilities that perform life-ending and medically fraught procedures like abortion," unquote. Despite the overarching moral concerns at the heart of this case, the oral arguments centered on particular words and concerns. Specifically, because existing laws specify that Medicaid can go to, quote, "any qualified provider," unquote, the patient chooses. In question is whether South Carolina is required to allow funds to go to Planned Parenthood as a medical provider. Justices Sonia Sotomayor and Amy Coney Barrett, from either side of the ideological aisle, expressed hesitation about South Carolina's claims to different degrees, that the law does not contain, quote, "rights creating," unquote, language. In reply, ADF attorney John Bursch, we're going to stop right there. John Bursch is the ADF, Alliance Defending Freedom attorney, representing, the state of South Carolina before the Supreme Court. John Bursch was the Kalamazoo Right to Life guest speaker last year for our Focus on Life dinner. A wonderful guy, sharp attorney. And I just wanted to pause there just to give a shout out to John Bursch. Lives up in the Middleville area near not too far from Grand Rapids. Great group and great organization. Okay. In reply, ADF attorney John Birch pointed out that, quote, the fact that the 12 of us can have such a robust conversation about whether this statute is mandatory or not, whether it's rights creating or not, demonstrates that the rights creating language is ambiguous, not clear, and explicit. Given that over 140 federally approved pregnancy support centers in South Carolina, it's difficult to conclude that denying funds to Planned Parenthood will harm the women in the state. That claim rests on Planned Parenthood's dubious claim that killing children is healthcare. It was on that basis that the ADF took the state to court in the first place. After numerous rulings and appeals, the Supreme Court will now, in a sense, decide whether an organization like Planned Parenthood, whose primary business is death, isn't that the truth, and so-called gender care, counts as a qualified medical practice. According to the interim president of Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, they are a qualified medical practice. Thus, as she put it, quote, government officials should never block people from getting health care or be able to decide which doctor you can or cannot see. We will never stop fighting for our patients and their right to choose their trusted health care provider, unquote. But Planned Parenthood's health care is primarily and overwhelmingly abortion. Thus, their business interests are about unrestrained access to abortion. As ADF put it, Planned Parenthood performed 392,715 abortions between October 1st, 2021 and September 30th, 2022. So in 1 year, almost 393,000 abortions, representing a 5% increase from the previous year and an increase of over 70% in just 2 decades. At the same time, Planned Parenthood's legitimate medical services have all decreased in recent years. From 22 to 2023, preventive care visits fell by 31%. So while the number of abortions performed at Planned Parenthood have gone up, the other services that they always brag about has gone down 31% from 2022 to 2023. And we all know that they make their money through abortion. And our tax dollars kind of indirectly feeds into that income. Planned Parenthood, okay, let me back up. And they don't need the money, says ADF President Kristen Wagner, who wrote, quote, Planned Parenthood received $3.2 billion in direct public funding. That's on top of hundreds of millions more it receives from private donors. And since the year Roe v. Wade was reversed, it has a fundraising boom, amassing over $2.5 billion in net assets. This is a nonprofit organization, $2.5 billion in assets. Okay. Even though this court has been friendly to the cause of life, technicalities matter greatly. Please pray for these judges looking at the legal side of this national evil. Just as the journey was long for abolitionists in the 19th century, so it is for those today who are committed to seeing abortion not merely made illegal, but unthinkable. Okay, so forgive me for that long read. I just wanted to show all the cards are on the table here. Okay, last item, just a reminder again, May 8, which is coming up soon, May 8, 2025, Kalamazoo Right to Life's Focus on Life dinner. Our guest speaker is Amber Roseboom, president of Right to Life of Michigan. If you need tickets, you want to buy a table or just 2 tickets for you and your spouse, go to our website, kazoortl.org, and you can sign up using your credit card to buy tickets. Or give me a call if you have questions about the dinner. My phone number is 269-599-4954. Please make this a priority. This is an important dinner. It's an important event. It's an educational event. And we just need to see a packed house at the Kalamazoo First Assembly of God Ministry Center. We've been holding our dinners for the last 10 years or so. May 8, 2025. Please be there. Be in prayer about this dinner. With that, I'll let you go, and I'll see you next time.